May I also inform you that you have a right not to incriminate yourself. But you also should not lie to the commission. Okay. So we would proceed. Before the break, we were talking about what were the responsibilities of special operations. And in so doing, you talked about some of the functions like implementing executive directives. I have a document here which talks about the brief history and role of special operations. Please take a look at it and tell us whether the contents are true. Take it.
This is I wrote this.
Could you read it out to the commission?
Got brief history. The roles and functions of the special operation.
Special operation ila doko anila tamandiri bulo.
Special operations.
Hold a second, Mr. Witness. Could you send me the document?
Kaito kinyana banso domanding kaito kiya nang.
Let me make a copy.
Okay.
So that I can follow as you read through.
Berunga copy isaje niba karangkam fanansi taranta jube kamu.
And if he could pull the microphone closer so we hear you clearly.
Kiaman ko ninga dra microphone ni isa katandino ifana domanding isaje molsi da bemen karanan sa moy.
Thank you.
Number.
Please read it out.
Karamban silang adamura.
Read up so that we can hear you.
Ikang sikandi domandi isaje simo ibe men karana.
Special operation as the name signifies.
Special operation ko ato afota nyame.
Deals with special directives.
Milata mandre bloka suji menna special directives silo me alon ko ka dilale aka me alon ko aka bonang ifanna me alon ko nyontala.
From the Director General.
Ndungo kangol nyinga bonambe wala ka bonang ila kordatio la Director General.
This unit was forced.
You missed something.
Fenebe je mendu komade.
From Director General of the agency. Thank you.
Director General me alon ko atela marta korda nyinna.
This unit was
nyimbunda nyin
first
amunung
conceive and instructed. First conceived and instructed.
Where did you see instructed?
Instructed je mintore jedo.
Sorry, introduce. Sorry.
Miro nying ani meya afindindi nyimbunda nying.
By the then able Director General Pa Jallo.
Meya longo wala munung nyaton koti ninje nyaton ka kendo ikaf me Pa Jallo.
The late.
Wala anaba ne man kafar kila saying teng.
At the time.
Watola.
When the director.
Wato mena director kordatio.
Had to deal with the special assignments.
Me alonko ajareta la no puru ay tamandri bulol dol tamena alonko ajareta la le.
from His Excellency, then President of the Republic.
E bondi kaw yamarol dolta kabo President membe nunjang, President His Excellency.
Where did you see what you just said?
Yo je mintole yemen quarantaine sainteng kayto toro yo je mintole.
Special assignment from His Excellency, the President, in 2007.
Do ko di do ko mi alongo do ko nyonta wala kabo His Excellency President 2007 sorry.
The caliber of officers
menu ba do ko nyin kono.
in the unit where
did you see that?
the caliber of officers in the unit, in this unit were selected by the director.
Menu be indo ko nyin kono men ye tombon wolem kordatio fangoti.
He knew the qualities of.
Where do you see that?
Yo je mintole kayto nyinto.
He knew.
Any lonne.
Did you in fact write this?
Yeah, I telephone in Kaito Savebo.
I think I do.
Ngambira ngakele.
Or was it written for you?
For ya safe number.
Or was it written for you?
For ya safe number.
No, I wrote and it was edited before it will be published.
Nga safele inata na be
It will go to wherever it goes to.
Who edited it?
Jumale ya cross ye kuge. Kadol bondi je menu manyana tarla je.
I think this was.
Ngamira.
I don't want to make, but I think it was Ture, one Mr. Ture.
Ngamira kending kiline government Mr. Ture.
But clearly you did not write it.
But senayaro ko ita fang manyin safe.
Maybe the ideas came from you, but what is the contents you did not write it.
But asikeno mirol nyim bote fang ko ngole kono bari safero nyi defa ma safe.
But you are having difficulty reading it.
Bari kitebul ko le ya dolti pour ka ifang ya karawo.
Okay, that's correct.
Walam to nyaati.
So you see the problems that I have raised.
Ya jele nga kole ya kol mem fo nga men findindi jando.
Even a simple document which you claim to have written.
Kayto me alongo defo ya kanen ko itele ya safe.
You even having difficulties reading it.
Ye kole ya fon soto wala pour ko fon karan jamae.
I missed this document since 2007.
Mr. Witness, you do not have to have seen a document before in order to be able to read it out.
Ite kayto je no komantonu ya fako isayi bo ma karanno af.
You have made lots of mistakes.
Ye fili jamal le soto kayto nyin karango.
Okay.
Mbadu nga kare.
Let me read it out for you.
Mbadu nga kare silang ilamoy.
The caliber of officers in this unit were selected by the director.
Mol me yalon ko be do ko la nyin dun unito nyin do mem muy fanare mem special operator director wala tombon.
He knows the quality of officers who are capable and secretive to carry out such special duties.
Nunga ya lonne nyu mewlo me ay tombon ay lonne ay la do ko no anila kullo maro puru i do ko nyin to wala sabu ay tombon.
The unit has registered successes in carrying out its duties according to the wishes and desires of the Director General.
Do ku bunda nye memu special operation ti la do ko nying hamenda menti kanyeta jele ndui ko Director General nying aya la fitala nyame.
Being a member of the unit is hazardous and challenging.
Kem moti je me alon ko be do ko la nyim bunda do memu special operation unit ya keta kulete me alon ko koleta andunga kule me alon ko koleta fana.
Members had to face finger pointing and fabrication as to what they do.
Mol me alon ko be do ko la bunda nyinto foy mol ke bulol chodi la andunga wolam nyiti wo bulu chodo nyi mol ka munu soto fa katara muneke ka ila do ko kono.
The unit, despite all the odds, stands to the test of time.
Do kubunda nyin ko nyaonya ya londi kan nyaonya o kalo nyin ye o menta bara lota le ko ajareta nyame.
Certain tasks are also hard to accomplish.
Do ko dol beje akoleata la pour kawol timmandi.
Where those listed has to be arrested and detained.
Mol yalon ko ye tol safenu itol safeda la pour ke muta ke sindidlo akiling.
Bad English there. But with zeal and determination we have succeeded. Bad English again. Many a time, and the records are there to tell.
tubabu kango dol beje maneta bakele bari hanin kabi do ko nyinde laftala nyame to katako da kole beje nyaawo nya bari yela do ko kele ko sulo be kan nyame
Constraints.
kole yalo
The unit has logistic constraints, bad English.
bunda nying ay tamande do ko nyi menya naka ke kol jorawlo la ka kole ko dol soto jele
Like lack of computers and lack of mobility in order to do the job effectively at all times.
abe ko na wala computer de wala nyim machine jorangol ti ani moto tamandiro pour que la do ko tamando ka ke bul kole ku baldi
Roles and functions of special ops.
special operation ila do ko abe ko na ni la tamandiri bulolu
Executive directives.
wala nyaton ko membe banko kanjan kala kangol tamandi
Covert operations.
pare
Covert operations.
wala ka kullo dol tamani me alon ko mo kana wanyar do
His
ko
Excellency's travels.
president nyin ala tamo
MFDC activities within the Gambia.
wala MFDC ila tamandro bulolu banko kanjang
Covert investigation.
kisikisiro ke me alon ko fana be kala kullo la kono
Personnels.
do kulalu
Lamin Jaju OC.
Lamin Jaju wala mo OCT
Lamin Dabo OC.
Lamin Dabo Oshi
Babukar Sala.
Babukar Shala
Omar Dia.
Alaji Nyasi
Sekou Jata.
Sekou Jata
Every staff under the command of this office should be loyal to the Director General and keep top secret.
momo moronde yalon ko abe do ko la nyim fannaro même special operation di nyanna kala multi me yalon ko abe kullo marala ando abe kala multi fana me yalon ko abe ko la Director General même kordati yodi
That is why posting to this office is thoroughly cross-checked to suit this purpose.
wala sabu momo moronde yalon ko yeto mom pour ye do ko kanyim officer même special operation di nyanna kala multi me yalon ko ya makamo ni ya mafa andum sartol ye lande nyame be timmandi la
Directives/orders.
wala directives kango slash
Orders.
kango
The office only received its directives from Director General or Deputy Director General and answerable to them in turn. Bad English.
aussi police office ni ke danku molbe do ko la je ke danku Director General la ni ngano lanko ni wato sida killing wato dolu
This is a document which is supposed to outline the history,
ni mukait le me yalon ko anyanna fintindro kila tariko la
role and functions of the special operations.
memu ni special operation ila doku anila tamandri bulo ka nyameng
Isn't it?
wala man ke to nyati
Yeah.
That's true. And you wrote it,
And we tell you
as you claimed.
to ya kan nyameng
But an official today.
Yes, it's from my office.
And
What's the date on the document?
no,
Chair?
it's not dated.
Undated.
It's undated.
man kam nyini ga kayto nyim fo lungo nyim beje la bambari council kay ko hani lungo nyim man safeje wala date
You would agree that this is a very shoddy job
be sonna mala ko nyimu do ku mane baldi
at explaining what a very important function
satar ke kula me alon ko do ku kumba balem
of a critical unit within the NIA.
me alon ko ala fita ka kayto nyi lafta ka kuma kanne fo me alon ko do ku bundala membe ena ela fanna la je yalo do ku me alon ko do ku mane balem
Is supposed to be doing.
men nyanna kake
It is a very shoddy job.
nyimu do ku mane baldi
The language is bad.
kuma kawol membe je amanyi amambereya
It is not articulate.
amantilim fana
And the ideas in it
mirol mem fana safete je
are so ill described.
fana yelandi nyame amantilim
You would agree with that?
ebe sonnam male
Come again, sorry.
You would agree that this is a shoddy job.
ebe sonnam male ko nyimu do ku tilimbaliya do ku wolda amantilim
These are the kind of memos Yaya Jammeh would have written terrible things. Send him home.
ñinne ka kay kuma kan sifal me alon ko president membe nu jang kay kuma kan sifal le safe mole me alon ko ala mari sama suko na ay tasi
Jabi now. Respond now.
Nsonda.
I agree.
Mr. Chair, we would put in the document, for whatever it is worth, to show that, well, this is his idea of what the special operations was supposed to do.
Ko kiaman ila dunyo kang bele nying kaito nying bele flaka adundi diamo kono puru kay tandi ko nyinna kuma ko nying kay tandi ala miro nying hamo menti ko ito ladu ko nying ila tamande blo nying ka kenu nyamen.
Now let's go back to the Lamin Kabu issue.
Silangata Lamin Kabu la kuoto.
And before that, the PV, the procès verbal would show that he read part of it in the manner that he did.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Let's now move back to the Lamin Kabu issue.
Silangata Lamin Kabu la kuoto.
You have denied carrying out any role in this.
Ibalanda nyina ko imambulu soto anyin kuoto. Lamin Kabu la kuoto.
That's true.
Lamin Kabu said he was tortured
Lamin Kabu info jam ko ya tajire yale.
by Alaji More and 5 members of his office.
Andu meya tajire wala alaji mor anado kunyo mo lulu.
I heard it, yes. I heard it from here.
Was he lying?
Be fani alla ba.
I cannot say that he is lying, but I was not involved in the torture of Lamin Kabu. And he made it clear when we were going to court.
What did he say in court?
Ay muna fa kiti lado.
My lawyer asked him, Susoho, was Lamin Dabo part of the people that tortured you, or did he torture you? And he said, no. And even myself, up till tomorrow,
there is no
there is nothing hidden or problematic between me and Lamin Kabu.
In your statement,
okay.
In your statement, you talked about how Lamin Kabu escaped during his torture. Yes. You said you were standing outside and you heard that someone had escaped. Is that not the case?
I said I was sitting in a garage.
I was sitting at the garage.
Umod Hydra then.
Mono Hydra. He told me, you are seated here, someone has escaped. That time, the guy that I shot on the leg, I had just returned from him from the hospital. When Muhammad Hydra said that, that was how we went out through the back gate. We went through the JC5 school towards the cemetery to check if he was hiding there.
Okay.
Just tell us what
my counsel.
So
while we were looking for him, we went up till the Kampama end. We heard that he had gotten to the office at the drug squad. And I returned back to the office.
And then what happened?
I returned back to the office.
Listen, just let me ask the question.
Okay.
You said you went to your office.
I returned, yes.
During this period, your office was responsible for dealing with Lamin Kabu, correct?
That's true.
He was in the hands of members of your office when he escaped, correct?
Abenung ila do ku nyol le bulu yini menu office killing wato men na Canada. Fo?
What montema kalam the Fanko Lamin Kabo was there?
At the time, I was not even aware that Lamin Kaba was there.
I put it
Ma
to you.
kalam tanunko.
Be kalamutan na yin na ko.
Okay.
You were working with Alaji Moore at this time.
Wato la ining alaji mor be do ko la nyoka.
Alay mor ñol be konoto jele nte mantara no grupo membe investigation or interrogation I don't know. Mantara no grupo kono because they arrest. Okay, mbe arrest filo ko na arresting team.
The group that was in investigation and interrogation, I was not part of them.
Okay. Well, the evidence we received
Asede andro men soto jang.
is that you did not go to Kampama.
Wala nyindi ko imanta kampama.
You stormed the police station with Alaji Moore and demanded to take Lamin Kabu back.
Itata police station odo ining alaji mor andingal na kanindro ke lamin kabuba puru ya murundina.
This is what Kabu said.
Nyinem kabu yemen fo mbina wala fola.
When I got to the director Bunsane's office, I crashed on the door and got inside, and they were all surprised.
Dirim funtata director general office nga bunda ele dunda nang office ko no jandu kabinum dunda ibe jakal tale.
OC Lamin Sise said, "What nonsense is this?"
La OC Lamin Sise jel dom akoko mun manela nyinti.
Then Bun's orderly, Ibu Sane and Modu Baro,
Jeto bun director nying ala odli men ka kanta Modu Baro aning
Ibu Sane,
Welcome to the weekday news in Banjul with me, Khadija Bokum. First, the headlines. President Barrow receives Foreign Minister Ambassador Zubairu Dada, who is in Banjul as special envoy of the Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari. In a landmark ruling on Wednesday, the Supreme Court of the Gambia dismisses former AFPRC junta member Yakuba Toure's constitutional immunity claim. Lawmakers scrutinized the Assets Management and Recovery Commission's audited activity reports and financial statements. In sports, Antimari Youth team triumphs over Fode Mane to clinch the title of the Brufut Sports Committee Football Unity Championship. And Nigerian president sacks the country's military chiefs amid serious security challenges. Well, these and many more coming ahead in the news with me, Khadija Bokum. It's a warm welcome to the news. We begin this bulletin with the presidency. The President, His Excellency Adama Barrow, Wednesday received in audience a special envoy of Nigerian President, His Excellency Muhammad Buhari. Ambassador Zubairu Dada is the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs of the Federal of Good from President Buhari. Modu Jallo reports.
His Excellency Ambassador Zubairu Dada, Minister of State for Foreign Affairs of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, was accompanied to the State House by the Minister of Defense, Sir Omar Faye. He is in the Gambia as Special Envoy of Nigerian President, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, to deliver a message of goodwill to the President, His Excellency Adama Barrow.
The message is goodwill. It is love. It is Mr. Buhari relating with a friend, like I said, with a brother of a friendly sister nation. Being friends, being Africans, but very special friends at that, we must always keep in touch. It's not enough to just be friends. We must also keep in close contact with each other to know what is happening to one another. In that spirit, President Buhari is interested in knowing what is happening in the Gambia, is interested, as I'm sure all Gambians know by now, in assisting the Gambia in its transition to very concrete democracy. You're on the right path, and he is saying, keep it up, and you have the support of the government and good people of Nigeria.
After delivering his message of goodwill to President Barrow, reaffirming Nigeria's commitment to support the Gambia, Ambassador Dara left for the airport, again accompanied by the Defense Minister and other foreign ministry officials. Mamadou Jallow, GRTS News.
To some legal matters now, we head to the Supreme Court of the Gambia, where a panel of 5 judges led by the Chief Justice on Wednesday dismissed the constitutional immunity claim of former AFPRC junta member and one-time Minister Yakuba Touré for lack of merit. The court, however, did not give any reason for the dismissal, but promised to explain in due course. GRTS Baba Silla was in the Supreme Court in Banjul, and he now files in this report.
The ruling by the country's upper court now paves way for the High Court to continue the trial of the embattled former junta member and one-time minister Yankuba Touré, accused for his alleged participation in the murder of late Finance Minister Ousmane Koro Cisse. In October last year, High Court Judge Justice Ibrahim Ajete referred the case to the Supreme Court for determination of the constitutional immunity clause after both the prosecution and defense argued over Touré's immunity in the 1997 Constitution. Delivering a short and precise verdict in a fully packed courtroom, Chief Justice Hassan Jallow went through arguments of both parties and upheld that Mr. Touré is not entitled to constitutional immunity as claimed by his lawyer in his brief of argument. The 5-panel member of judges led by the Chief Justice did not furnish the court with reason for the dismissal of the appeal, but promised to provide a rationale in due course. Mr. Touré has been facing criminal charge of murder since June 2019, following his appearance and refusal to testify before the Truth Commission to explain the mysterious circumstance surrounding the death of his late cabinet colleague Ousmane Koro Cisse, who prosecutors say was killed at Touré's residence at Kololi in June 1995. Several junta members were alleged to have participated in the murder, including Edward Singate and Peter Singate, but Touré is now facing criminal charge he frequently denies since the commencement of the trial alone. So far, during the main trial, the prosecution presented 9 witnesses before declaring the closure of their case, while the defense called 3 witnesses, including Mr. Touré himself. If found guilty, Mr. Touré will be sentenced to death or life imprisonment, and since his arrest in June 2019, he has been detained at the State Central Prison at Mile 2. For GRTS News, I am Baba Silla.
And now to legislative matters. The Asset Management Recovery Corporation, AMRC, on Wednesday reappeared before the Public Enterprise Committee of the National Assembly for scrutiny and consideration of the institution's audited report and financial statements for the year 2019. Asiru Jata Gassama was at the legislative chambers in Banjul, and she now files in this report.
The National Assembly Public Enterprise Committee has endorsed the Asset Management Recovery Corporation's 2019 Audited Activity Report and Financial Statement after a long day of thorough scrutiny. The legislative exercise was designed to promote accountability and transparency.
Act number 1 of 1990, the Public Enterprise Act, was enacted to enable the establishment of public enterprises, regulate their powers and duties in order to promote performance in respect of government's commercial activities.
Talking about their success stories during the year under review, Honorable Halifa Saleh, the chairman of the Public Enterprise Committee of the National Assembly, said he is pleased that the Asset Management Recovery Corporation has done immensely well in loan recovery.
We are informed by the corporation that the corporation, since its establishment in 1992, has collected, recovered about 80% of the entire Gambia Commercial and Development Bank loan. So essentially, what is left is 20%. And what has been recovered is 266 million.
This success story of the corporation and others as they strive to fulfill the mandate of dealing in Gambian land sales tenders for repossessed plots, houses, commercial buildings and other assets on behalf of the government also pleased the NAMS. Despite the successes, the corporation is also facing some challenges the NAMS and external auditors said need fixing for its viability.
As of now, the amounts are recoverable, although within certain challenges. And for this particular year under review, nothing has been received from that loan. But that doesn't mean that in the past or in the future, something cannot be received. That is a possibility.
All these loans are problematic, but among them, the development loan is more problematic than all of them. Because these are machineries. Some of them, like the commercial loans, can be planned and land and something like that. That can live longer. But you are talking about fishing boats. You are talking about tractors. You know, probably before even the GCDB, before it even wind down, some of these equipments are no more available to fall onto.
But the good work of the corporation during the year 2019 led to the adoption of its audited activity report and financial statement by the NAMS. Aissatou Jata Gassama, GRTS.
Still with the Assembly, different institutions, including the National Nutrition Agency, NANA, National Disaster Management Agency, NDMA, and the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, on Tuesday presented their audited activity reports and financial statements for the year 2015 to 2019. Kajitu Juara reports.
Parliamentary proceedings began with a question and answer session with officials of the Bansang Hospital and National Nutrition Agency responding to issues raised by the deputies. The Chief Executive Officer, Bansang Hospital, Baba Jeng, and Director of Finance at NANA, Lamin Jai, respectively, outlined the organization's mandate, among them training and capacity building for staff as well as resource mobilization for their respective institutions.
We always want to come and present because it would be a platform where we can also share our concerns with the Health Select Committee. So I think for Bansang, the audited 2018, we are waiting for the final report. So they have written to us and we have responded with some concerns.
The chairman of the National Assembly Health Committee, Honorable Usman Silla, recognized the partnership efforts by the various institutions in the interest of national development. Honorable Silla urged government institutions to continue working together for the betterment of the country.
We'll be supporting for more subvention for your institutions. This committee can do that. We can struggle, even engage in fist fights, so to speak, just to ensure that you've got what you're supposed to get. But we would want you to also give back, and the giving back is for you to be complying with these constitutional requirements. Accountability.
The National Assembly member for Fonyi Kansala, Musa Amul Nyasi, reiterated their continued advocating for the rights of institutions while advising its officials to comply with the lawmakers.
We want to do advocacy in the right direction. When we advocate at plenary, we have our colleagues who listen to us. And the only way we can also give support is by ensuring that institutions under our purview are accountable to the public.
At the end of the session, officials were availed the opportunity to present their 2019 audited report and financial statement. Sittings continues. Reporting for GRTS News, I am Khadija Tujuwara.
Sittings at the Truth Commission continues on Wednesday with Ibrahim Jim Drame, former Director of Operations at the then National Intelligence Agency. Fatou Janembai reports.
Ibrahim Jim Drame, a former employee of the former National Intelligence Agency, denied allegations that he took part in the torture of the Farafene army attackers. The alleged rebels who attacked the army camp were said to have been severely tortured, but Ibrahim Drame, who was the director of operations at the NIA then, strongly refused in participating in the exercise.
No, you told us you were not part of the torturers, but you agree that the tortures happened.
Why would have been a hearsay?
But you've told us a lot of hearsay.
So frankly, with that of Farafenni, I did not make a follow-up. I did more than 2 weeks outside Banjul.
Witness Drame also told lead counsel Esafal that he did not participate in the torture of Lamin Kabu. Mr. Kabu, a former staff of the Drug Law Enforcement Agency of the Gambia, was alleged to have been beaten and stripped naked.
In order to get Kabu, that situation provoked a serious scenario. Everybody was vexed and annoyed. That even warranted one of the commissioners, the person of Lamin Sise, got up and almost wanted to fight with Alaji Moore. Got up, said to Sise, you cannot fight for me. I will fight for myself.
The day-long testimony witnessed a series of verbal bouts between lead counsel Esafal and witness Ibrahim Ajim Drame, who in most of his responses refutes claims that he tortured the Farafene barrack attackers and Lamin Kabu. Testimonies continues at the TRC on Thursday. Reporting for GRTS News, I am Fatu Janimbai.
Moving on, the Banjul City Council, in collaboration with the Gambia Horse and Donkey Trust, is embarking on free neutering and rabies vaccination clinic for dogs at Crab Island in Banjul. The exercise, as Khadijatu Jallo report, is part of efforts to eradicate rabies in the country.
City officials are working to mitigate the increase of dogs in capital Banjul with a special vaccination program led by a local animal trust. The deputy mayor of Banjul, Omar Toure, said the capital has been an increase in the number of stray dogs loitering around with no owners or homes. As public health officials warn against the dangers of rabies associated with dog bites, the BCC is moving to minimize the population of stray dogs in a strategic exercise, joining efforts to keep the city free and safe.
We should take care of their dogs because dogs they have lives and they are very important in our society because as everybody knows, dogs helps you to secure your house and a lot of things. But as I said, we don't have a lot of dogs in our houses here in Banjul, but they are around the wetland and a lot of dogs are in the streets roaming around. And the team, they are outside to catch those dogs and bring them here to try to treat them.
Despite the low turnout of dog owners, participants including Damfa C and Aji Binta Sidibe, who came all the way from Sukuta, underscored the importance of the exercise in boosting community safety.
So we have this dog here to take care of the guarding and all. Make sure that it's always on alert when someone is inside, who bark, and people will know automatically someone is in the house who is not among us. Yeah, to be honest, I saw it on the flyer when people have been posting it on their status, and I was so interested because a dog is like a human being, of course. We live in it, and he's always with us at home. So I saw this in particular, then I was like, I need to find all possible needs to come with it, and so that he would take the vaccine.
Emily Elga, a registered animal vet from the UK, currently providing voluntary service to the Gambia Horse and Trust Association, and the body's general manager, Lang Baba Sise, unanimously underscored the crucial role for such health forums in raising awareness.
So they've been up and running since 2002, providing veterinary services and husbandry help for horses and donkeys all across Gambia. We've noticed in more recent years that there's a huge issue with their street dogs, stray beach dogs, and also compound dogs. So we're starting to expand on our services we offer. Like today, we're here in Banjul doing a rabies clinic and neutering. So to try and keep the population of street dogs down in the aim of eliminating rabies across Gambia.
The team went around to look for street dogs as some are with dog owners to bring their pets for vaccination. Some of the dogs here underwent surgical operations.
So the dogs will recover from their operation within a couple of hours. They all recover differently, but we don't release them again until we're happy that they're recovered. They'll just wake up feeling a bit drowsy and a bit strange, but other than that, fine.
The neutering and rabies vaccination of dogs and cats in Banjul is expected to last for 3 days, with more dog owners are expected to make best use of the opportunity to vaccinate their pets and keep the country rabies-free. Khadijatu Jallow reporting for Grts News.
The campaign on the use of efficient cooking solutions by the Energy Ministry and partners has proceeded to the Lower River region. The promotions of the cookstoves aims at reducing the dependency rate on the woodland, as most of the Gambian's forest cover is located upcountry, and its misuse and degradation is most prevalent in such areas. Ibrahim Cham is on the campaign trial, and he now files in this report.
The people of Jar Soma have welcomed the campaign on the use of efficient cook stoves with open arms. The region, which produces the highest rate of charcoal in the country, came out in their numbers to be part of the Furno Jambar and LPG gas bottle giveaway by the Energy Ministry and UNIDO. The Ministry of Petroleum and Energy is strategizing 100% access to improved cook stoves and clean gas by 2030, thereby boosting its production to reduce the price.
We try to promote business development in the area, where we look at the producers of cook stoves. We help them financial support through UNIDO Jeff project, and so that they can have the capacity to produce these cook stoves in an efficient manner and at a reduced cost, that it is affordable to our people.
The host for the campaigners is the governor of Lower River Region, Rohi John Manjang, who believes that since an alternative for charcoal isn't available, minimizing the dependency and the use of the woodland is a step in the right direction.
And these are energy saving stoves. Of course, we will still use charcoal, we will still use firewood, but to a minimal number. And it's also going to compensate the health. We know that the charcoals or the firewood that we are using is not only affecting the forest, or even our own health. Because when you are using too much of firewood, the smoke that extracts from it is also of the same amount. So if you're using less of it, of course, we also are going to extract less of the smoke as well. And even the time. We've been told that this will save you much time in terms of cooking, because you're going to make sure that the pot or whatever you're using, the cooking material, is going to be directly under the stove, rather than allowing the wind to blow it every day.
A significant amount of forests across the country have been handed over to their communities for its preservation and increase its efforts in planting trees after rigorous sensitization programs, making the efficient cook stove campaign a complement to those efforts.
We make several sensitizations, many sensitizations, because sensitization in this endeavor is very key to lessen our loggings, cutting our trees, bushfire one of them, and so on and so forth. But this will contribute, this stuff will contribute immensely to those efforts by minimizing the number of wood we are using, the number of charcoal we are using, and health-wise.
A total of 200 women from LRR won a Furno Jambar or a Furno Nofline.
aka kembo use ni local saba soto be tabi local yaba ni kembo portfolio soto be tabi local yaba ni ngode bi fanto se molu tentu ngejay.
Kerwan and the North Bank region will host a tour party on the 26th of January 2021. Reporting for GRTS News, I'm by Ibrahim Cham.
The Gambia Federation of the Disabled, through a Gambian philanthropist based in Germany, on Monday presented items to physically challenged individuals. The items include crutches, walking sticks, wheelchairs, amongst other valuables. Kaditu Juara now reports.
The items were donated by a Gambian philanthropist based in Germany. The items include walking sticks, wheelchairs, and special shoes for the physically challenged people, among other things. Speaking at the ceremony, a principal magistrate and the president of the Gambia Federation for the Disabled, Mohammed Krubali, called on the public to support and promote the welfare of the physical challenged people.
As part of the objectives and the functions of the Federation is to advocate for persons with disabilities in terms of according respect, protection, and promotion of their inherent dignity, their fundamental rights and freedoms. We have a very good and concerned sympathizer hearing called Wan Nkaran Sanyang, who is a Gambian based in Germany, presented some of the mobility aids or special needs aids or supportive aids to persons with disabilities in the Gambia.
Mamadou Jaju, father to one of the beneficiaries, thanked the donor for promoting the lives and livelihoods of the less privileged.
On behalf of myself, my humble family, I thank the organization for kindly assisting us to get this wheelchair on behalf of my daughter, who has been unable to walk since 2016.
Fatoumata Jaju also joined her colleagues in commending partners for the kind gesture. Reporting for GRTS News, I am Khadija Tujuara.
As part of efforts to promote green economy, officials of the large-scale ecosystem-based adaptation project and partners handed over modern beekeeping materials to Kiang West communities of Madua, Bateling and Sankanding. As Suma Dabul Jadama reports, the equipment are meant to boost the economic status of rural settings.
These handed beekeeping materials to the communities of Kiang Manduar, Bateling and Sankandi by EBA project are earmarked to mitigate climate change through the sustainable use of agriculture and natural resources. Baseni Jame is the private sector specialist of EBA project.
Beekeeping is one of the enterprise opportunities that have been identified on the component 2 of the project in terms of basically creating and supporting the establishment of sustainable natural resource environment. We all know that the ecosystem, with the emerging issues related to climate change, with the emerging issues related to deforestation, environmental degradation, we all know that the lives and the livelihoods of the communities are threatened on a daily basis. So therefore, we found it necessary to intervene through this beekeeping enterprise development.
The ecological friendly materials will boost the economic status of rural settlers with the production of honey and other medicinal products.
It came with an informed decision-making process, through an informed decision-making process. We've gone through an assessment process to basically identify the enterprise opportunities in natural resource sector within the Gambia. And one of the recommendations was that beekeeping was one of the viable enterprises that we can support in terms of empowering our communities.
Jibiba is the general manager of Beekeepers organization engaged to train EBA beneficiary beekeepers in the country.
The most important part of bees in our environment, in our ecosystem, is mainly pollination. Bees contribute a lot on pollinations. They are the main pollinators in the world. Bees pollinate all our trees, flowers, and even our plants. And they make fertilization possible.
Similar presentation and sensitization continues in the Jara East settlement of Bureng. Suma W. Jadama reporting for GRTS.
And now to the Central River region, where the Changai Youth Association has successfully held its village cultural festival. The third edition witnessed a display of diverse cultures. Modulamin Sane now reports.
Young people of Changai Toro village in Sami Central River region have been staging one of the biggest events in the area. The Ngaural Egole Cultural Festival, happening for the third time, is centered on promoting culture and encouraging unity among people here.
When we have the cooperation and the unity of the residents, it will help the village to help themselves. And then the main objective of this, the association, is to complement the government effort in the area of health, education, agriculture, sport, youth empowerment, and among others.
This year, like the previous ones, featured some special moments for natives and the multitudes attending the event aimed at purely showcasing the settlement's cultural norms and values.
It is definitely an opportunity for people like us living in the Greater Banjul area, but the urban area, because if you look at down there, what we call culture, there we just try, but the real culture is within the urban area here, because today live in the community like the community of Sami, and then what they have been displaying here, definitely you hardly see within the urban area. So it means a lot, because it serves as a learning point for us, definitely.
The important convergence also set the stage for regional authorities and dignitaries to address young people, including women, on the way forward to advance proposed development goals.
Cultural diversity is very, very important. So you want to see, let them see how best they can able to, bring more on board, and then to also, to work with other bodies. Because if you look at, they are doing well actually, but I think there is more to improve. Yeah, more to improve.
The historic moment and celebration of culture also offered a rare opportunity for interaction and discussions around issues that collectively affect the community. Modulamin Saleh reporting for GRTS News from the Central River region.
This is GRTS News coming to you live from our studios on the MDI Road. We now take a short break and return with sports. Welcome back, and now to sports. As some cabinet ministers joined the crowd at the Brufut football field to witness the unification final of Brufut Sports Development Committee's tournament sponsored by Papanjai, Antimari Juve team triumphs over Fode Mane to clinch the title. Famara Baji tells us more on this report.
It's now common to use sports as a unifying force, helping people to set aside their differences. In local communities, the staging of sporting events vastly help to advance cohesion and meaningful interaction between people. Burfoot is one such community where sports is a potent force for development. The climax of the Burfoot football tournament attracted a massive turnout of residents that included cabinet ministers and some senior government officials who emphasized the crucial role such tournaments play in complementing government's effort to foster unity among people.
So if you see a community organizing an event like this, and the ultimate aim is to bring people together, our role will be to support them. And like I said, it has brought people together, and you can see the finals the same way it happened during the opening.
From the very beginning, the president was engaged in this very tournament when he sent in 4 of his cabinet ministers to grace the opening of the entire tournament. And he also donated generously. And being somebody also on my maternal side who actually has a great connection with the people of Brufut, my grandmother is from this place, actually we can't be more happier seeing the young people taking an initiative by themselves, leading all the actions, and then to this very day when we have now seen the successful, peaceful conclusion. I mean, we continue to thank them and to assure them that the government, especially through the Ministry of Youth and Sports under the able leadership of Honorable Bakari Baji, will continue to work with the young people to see that we improve on sports and sporting facilities in the Gambia.
A colorful atmosphere of ambience and excitement punctuated the sporting event as 2 teams fought for pride on the pitch, while supporters entertained the crowd on the sidelines. Team Marijuv scored 2 goals to scoop the prize at stake. The first came in the 18th minute when Sekou Touré skipped inside the opponent's defense and hit a powerful shot past the goalkeeper. The second and the ultimate winner came in the second half after a lovely build-up so Adam Asedi completed dashing attack with a beautiful finish to earn his side a 2-0 win over Team Fode Mane.
Me, I am staying inside the Bacono door, but what I used to see inside the Bacono, it was not good. But now, all the teams are under one umbrella. They come as Sate Bacono, and they do things as Sate Bacono. Sanchaba come as Sanchaba, Santosu come as Santosu. So that's the reason why I say it is a success.
Awards were given to both runners-up for the Mane Football Club and winners Mari Diouf FC, while certificates of appreciation went to special patrons and Gambian leader President Adama Barrow for acknowledging and supporting such tournaments. Famara Baji, GRTS News.
To other news around the world, there are concerns that African countries could experience delay in receiving the COVID-19 shots on top of disruptions to vaccine production. The African Union has in fact accused richer nations of hoarding the vaccines. The AU has been urging its member states to work together rather than acquire vaccines individually. CGTN's Jerome Chala now reports from Addis Ababa.
The African Union has engaged multiple manufacturers in efforts to secure COVID-19 vaccines. Africa is already eyeing 270 million doses expected to come through an AU agreement. However, limited provision of vaccines, delays and hoarding could pose challenge to secure access. The Africa CDC says chance of acquiring vaccines will be much higher if AU member states can work together rather than strike individual deals.
We've met with nearly all vaccine manufacturers and have dialogue with them, and some of them are ongoing, and we'll continue to engage with them and bring the results to you all. I think we really want to make a strong appeal to the continent that going alone will not help the individual cause for the country, but we need to do it collectively.
So far, none of the Western vaccines have been administered in Africa. It's been almost 2 months since initial doses were rolled out in parts of Europe. Deliveries were not made to Africa, largely due to heavy demand from other parts of the world. The Africa CDC say, though challenging, herd immunity must be achieved as soon as possible. This would prevent COVID-19 from becoming a frequently occurring disease.
We, as a continent of 1.2 billion people, have been saying that unless and until we strive to vaccinate at least 60% of our population, will definitely end up having COVID on the continent as an endemic disease again. And Africa has already enough endemic diseases that we don't need COVID to install and become disruptive and continue to challenge our health systems in the manner that other diseases have challenged that clearly.
Through the AU's continental COVID-19 vaccine strategy, Africa is said to acquire at least 270 million doses. According to AU officials, the work of financing and the plan of equitable distribution is going well. The question many now ask is, how soon can the majority of African states start vaccinating their citizens? Group Tala CGTN, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
To Nigeria, where the country's President Muhammadu Buhari has sacked the country's military chief, who he appointed upon assuming office in 2015. The move comes as the nation continues to deal with a range of insecurity challenges from insurgencies, kidnapping and armed robberies. CGTN Phil Ihaza reports from the capital, Abuja.
The presidency confirmed the replacement of the service chiefs through the special advisor on media and publicity, Femi Adesina. No reason was given for the sacking of the heads of the Army, Navy, Air Force and Chief of Defense Staff, but President Buhari thanked the outgoing service chiefs, adding that their achievements have been overwhelming, especially towards maintaining peace and tackling insecurity across the country. Adesina says President Muhammadu Buhari congratulates the new service chiefs and urges them to be loyal and dedicated in their discharge of their responsibilities. The new service chiefs are Major General Leo Irabo, appointed as Chief of Defense Staff, Major General I. Atahiru, appointed as Chief of Army Staff, Rear Admiral A.Z. Gambo, appointed as Chief of Naval Staff, and Air Vice Marshal I.O. Amao, appointed as Chief of Air Staff. Nigeria has been dealing with widespread insecurity, including more than 10 years of insurgency and rampant kidnappings. Since the president assumed office 5 years ago, this is the first time he's changing his heads of military despite pressure from security experts and critics. Buhari has continued to pledge that his administration will do its best to halt the activities of insurgents and criminals across the country before the end of his tenure in 2023. Phil Ihaza, CGTN, Abuja.
Before we end today's bulletin, a quick recap of our top stories. President Barrow has received Foreign Minister Ambassador Zubairu Dada, who is in Banjul as special envoy of the Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari. In a landmark ruling on Monday, the Supreme Court of the Gambia has dismissed former AFPRC junta member Yakuba Toure's constitutional immunity claim. Lawmakers have scrutinized the Asset Management and Recovery Commission's audited activity reports and financial statements. In sports, Antimari Juve team has triumphed over Fode Mane to clinch the title of Brufut Sports Committee Football Unity Championship. And Nigerian president has sacked the country's military chief amid serious security challenges. And that's all. That is all we have for today's edition. Do stay tuned for the rest of our programs and have a pleasant day.
Okay. Between one and 2 hours.
From Abbas's arrest?
After no, Abbas was arrested, like I told you, at night. The following morning, operation start. Start.
Abbas was arrested in the night.
Abbas box around after 11 to 12.
It was after
then
11.
I went to DJ and tell him. DJ called K State House. We form a convoy.
Abbas was arrested in the night. It was in the morning around 11 towards 12 that he revealed where the boxes were. Yankuba called State House and the junglers came and we went after these boxes.
Okay. And Abbas was not beaten?
Abbas was not beaten.
Joko Sow was not beaten?
Joko Mamba Kalama Baringa see the testimony Mojan Akaya Klokose.
Don't tell us about anybody's testimony. We saying from what you know, was Joko Sow tortured? Seydou Sow, was he tortured?
I cannot if you remember Seydou Sow as now from seriously.
The other guy who had the box. The person Joko Sow was calling to bring the box.
That man ran away. That man, as far as I am concerned, Mawoje.
How about Kamara?
Kamara in the drive for Abbas not drive.
Kamara is Abbas's driver.
Kamara was not tortured.
As far as you are concerned, this was a clean operation by the NIA. You got what you wanted. There was no torture. As far as you know.
Yes.
So witness, you are not truthful.
It's good, thank you.
Everybody who was involved in this operation, who have come into contact with the TRRC, said these people were tortured very badly and you were at the center of it directing the tortures.
Council, no Mwele.
Council, I heard that. I heard it from C.
Hold a second. This is what C had to say. Hear the allegations before you say it. First, he said Abbas was brought and the junglers came. He says, from there on, you told the commission that you just threatened him that if he does not speak, then the junglers are there. What you did not tell us that the junglers did their job, which was to torture Abbas.
Council, I'm on the oath. Well, I think I'll tell you. I have no cause.
I would have said so.
Okay. Basirusi said When he was brought, when Abbas was brought,
Abbas Nati,
DG Yankuba Baji was also in the office.
DG, memu kordati yoti Yankuba Baji afanambala office okonon.
And later the junglers came in.
Mamme domandin jongula afanandundana.
Is that a lie?
That's a lie. Because when Abbas was arrested, it was at night, like I told you. I arrested him from DG's office. And DG called me because
DG's office.
Astaghfirullah, from DG's house, compound.
Yes. All right. The head of the junglers team was Nuha Baji. He came with Michael Jata and Fansu Nyabali, Yaya Jamme and Suleiman Sambu. Is that false?
I can remember Nuha Baji, Suleiman Sambu, and who?
Fansu Nyabali.
Fansu, I cannot remember seeing Fansu there.
Michael Jata.
At that night. Maybe Mike.
Yes.
I think he's Michael, yes.
Michael Ha.
Those people were
there. And then the witness said, from there on, because the office was too tight, but all the others were there, I went out of the office because once the jungle staff arrived, it was going to be a real show for Abbas. Abena dula for Abbas.
Okay, let me allow me to comment. Yeah.
Right there. The junglers did not come into my office. It was only their boss, Noah
myself, Yankuba Baji, Liz Gomez.
But this is what this man said.
No, Yankuba
Baji came to the office.
Sir, in my office, I mean, she was not there. I was there out of special operation. Tell him, Liz la office, Liz Yankuba, Nuha Baji,
Yankuba,
Kamara, Abbas la drive for Kamara, and Abbas Fang.
Kamara,
office okon.
You are the ones in my office.
Okay.
In boys, Samuel Fang will be able to bantale.
Okay.
And the others were outside.
And then the witness went on to say, I can clearly see inside through the windows. And besides, it was late night and our team were the only ones in the premises. That's a lie too.
So council, sorry, at that time, officer location we are explaining.
Let me, if you knew the location of our office at the time, or maybe let me explain to you.
Okay. Later on, they came out with Abbas Jaju, and they were taking him to invest at the back of the office. At the back of our office. True.
That point was correct. Myself, Nuha Baji, and Sambu. I forget the other guy.
So how can this be correct when the other things before
I don't know.
Are false?
Definitely I will not lie.
Okay.
I swear to God, I will not lie.
Where were you taking him?
We went to investigation. This, I started...
Okay, just answer the question. Why were you taking him to investigate?
Yes, that was the point. I told Abbas, what is happening? What is coming? Do
you see what is happening? You see these people?
I am
not saying to you. So you had to take him to invest to threaten him. Okay, where in invest did you take him to threaten him?
Investigation, Fonkoto, how to call it? There was a newly built.
That is the torture chamber. You took him to the red room to the torture chamber.
I took him to the red room.
Exactly.
But
So you took him to the torture chamber with the junglers to threaten him.
I told you, Council, I threatened Abbas. I threatened even not only Abbas, even Joko. I told him.
Let's focus on Abbas.
Okay.
You took him to the torture chamber because this guy was not confessing.
That's true.
You took him to the torture chamber.
No. Sorry, Council. Already, like I told you, Abbas he confessed it.
But if he had confessed, why was it necessary to take him to the torture chamber?
We did not take him there alone, with him and Joko.
Together with the jungler?
Yes.
Exactly.
That's true.
Okay, listen. The witness went on to say, all of a sudden, I saw them take hose pipes to torture Abbas.
That's not correct.
And I went away.
That's not correct.
Mr. Witness, we are not children here. Just listen. You are sitting in your office with the Director General, correct?
Yes.
With the Deputy Director General. With the junglers.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
You threatened him there. He did not confess.
In my office...
He did not confess.
Sorry, in my office, he was not threatened.
Okay. In your office, he did not confess.
Okay.
Right? So you now took him to the torture chamber. And just suddenly he started singing. What you are refusing to say is that you and the junglers tortured this man to confess, which your subordinate clearly said. You are trying to hide your responsibility.
Council, let me
make one thing clear to you and to everybody here. These junglers,
no matter what happened,
when they are torturing someone,
you member of a jungle, you don't stay there, you don't stand there.
And you are not a member of the jungle team,
you are working with them. You were working with them.
I'm not working with them.
Yes, you are working with them.
When I work with them when they come to the office.
That's where they were.
When you say I'm working with them, which means I did not share anything in common with
Mr. Witness, you were sharing operations with them.
Okay.
And you took your suspect with the blessing of your Director General and Deputy Director General. You took the witness, the suspect, to the torture chamber.
Yes.
Together with the junglers. Obviously, you did not take him there for a party.
And the purpose was definitely going there. The mission of going there was seriously.
And the reason of going there was that if they refused to talk, they would beat them seriously.
Because all of you that was what they told me. And somebody is waiting.
We told him, Abbas, we have done our utmost best, and someone else is waiting.
Who was that somebody who was waiting?
I believe former president.
I believe it was the former president.
So obviously, Mr. Witness, the president had been promised something. He is waiting. You took him to the torture chamber with the torturers.
Even that one, I think I accept it is a torture because the moment they get there, even by getting there, it's a torture. But
I was coming to that. You took him. You impacted psychological torture on him.
Good, I accept that. I accepted that one.
Okay, fine. And your colleague said this man was physically tortured.
No, that's not true, Council. I have no cause. I will tell you all this.
Well, Joko Sow said he was tortured by you and the junglers.
That's not true. That's not true. Junglers, the reason even why I intervened at that point was, Joko was a disabled. Like I told you, investigation. To me, I see Joko as a disabled somebody. How can I leave that man with the junglers?
But you intervened.
Yes. How can I leave that man with
So he was being tortured, so you intervened.
Sorry?
You said he intervened.
No, man dadunje. Yes, dadunje by helping him
to help him.
But that was in the presence of Abbas.
But they tortured him?
No, they did not torture him, sir. Your counsel.
Joko said he was tortured massively.
Joko was not tortured. You can imagine. How
but that is how wicked you used to treat your people.
No problem, but God and whoever, even Joko Sow knows, in between me and God, my consent is very clear.
Okay, you said you did not torture Joko Sow.
No.
You did not torture Abbas Bai.
And I did not order. I did not order Joko's torture because she said I tell yes, give him VIP treatment. These are all false informations, man. Says counsel. When I heard about that, I was shocked because this is somebody who was
or disappointed at yourself.
No, I was shocked, not disappointed. Counsel, when I was dismissed. People were telling me to run, do this. I said, no, I did not do anything.
Okay. Basirusi said you took these people to the torture chamber and they were tortured by yourself and the judge.
Where was he? Because we all went there.
He said he found a way.
They were not tortured.
He removed himself from there.
Okay, fine. That point, but one thing I'm telling you, it's in between me and God.
But what I'm telling you is between me and God.
Abbas, Joko and Abbas was never tortured. We are never tortured in my presence.
Okay, all right. All right.
And Abbas was never tortured.
Okay. So Basirusi said he was tortured, and you were there. You said you only took him to the torture chamber, but there was no torture. All right. Joko said, well, they were tortured, and you said Joko also lied.
Joko lied. Joko lied. Joko is a... Anyway, let me not describe. But
all right.
Anyway, it's all right. Joko was not tortured anyway.
Okay, now let's hear what your other officer had to say. I will not reveal the person's name.
No problem.
I would read what the person said. I would give you the statement and you can look at it. He said, wait a minute, just a moment. He said, the Fuller men, that is those who were arrested with Abbas Jaju, we are beaten with hose pipes. Exactly like Basirusi's description. Hose pipes. But Abbas wasn't beaten at the time. Personally, I didn't like it because Abbas was the brain behind everything. So I went to bring out Abbas and told him he was needed. When nobody asked me to. But as soon as OC. Who was OC? Officer commanding. Who was that?
Officer commanding. Myself.
Laminda. And he said, as soon as OC saw him, OC slapped him. And Abbas then Abbas started talking. Lamin Dabo, Alassane Balde, and Basirusi were involved in the torture. So 2 of your staff members said you tortured Abbas and the Fuller men. Are they lying?
This is a lie.
All right.
Sorry. Allow me to say something.
Tell us why it is a lie.
I told you, I respond to your questionnaires here. I was head of that unit.
I was head in the unit at the time. I answered your question. This thing that you are explaining, God knows, that's not happening.
I stand by it.
My own
to
subordinates
any level.
are the ones that said this
I
happened.
accept it.
But
Abbas is alive also. Find it out from him whether I lay my hand on him. He is alive and he is in this country.
Your dindingol.
This is a lie. Abbas was never beaten. He is here. Abbas is alive. Please, I beg you in the name of God.
You called in the junglers in vain.
I did not. I did not call the jungle. I have no authorities over the junglers. Junglers. How can I, Council? How can I call on junglers?
The NIA called in the junglers
He
in
said
vain.
the DG called even the NIA. Throughout the NIA, in fact,
the NIA was the torture center.
That's true. That's true. We all ask. Nobody will dispute this.
You had a torture chamber. The NIA had a torture chamber.
Yes, nobody will dispute that.
You acted in tandem with the junglers to torture people.
Sorry, come again. Sorry. Yes.
You acted together with the junglers to torture people at the torture chamber in the NIA. That was precisely the reason why your Director General, sitting with the Deputy Director General, agreed for you to lead these suspects to the torture chamber together with the junglers.
Okay, let me clear that. Anytime the junglers are coming to the office, either Buterola or whatever.
Whenever they come to the office, either for torture or whatever reason, or any other reason,
DG,
the DG,
be it special operation, be it this other operation, it can more call, officer call the menkana.
Whether it's operation or special operation.
Nina security leko nada car lekam on solar the car securities will not give them those personnels.
Because if it is left to them,
officer remember it and ko DG ko ale nganyun dinyul.
If it's left to them alone and the security officers
that
at
is
the
quite
gate,
obvious. The Director General has to be aware of it. Listen to another member of your staff.
Okay.
He said, also, Seydou Sow, who was arrested together with Joko Sow, were beaten by Basiru Si and Lamin Dabo till he sustained injuries in his eyes and blood clots which were visible through his eyes.
Council.
Are you denying that? You denying that was true?
Okay, Council. Let me come. These are not true. Sign. Butero be kila dalili jumala can sign at this point in time.
Because they have refused to give you the evidence that you needed.
No, already we have a very, very, very sure lead. We're going to lay our hands on that one already.
You see, Mr. Witness, how many staff did you have in special operation at this time?
Special operation myself,
Balde,
and Balde,
Leon, I don't know, Gomez, Malafi Jaju. But okay, let me know.
Let's talk about those who were working directly with you.
Yes,
those who were working Banta, those who were working outside.
Okay, Balde,
Jibril,
C, and who again?
Ninjuma,
Aliu
who?
Aliu Sumare, I think.
No, there was no Aliu Sumare here.
At that time, those I am working with.
At this time, those you were working with were?
Of course, Aliu Sumare was there.
Jibril,
yes.
Jibril Kanyi. Sumare is...
Okay,
just a moment. Sumare is Tumai. He's the guy who's got the nickname. The football player.
Okay.
Ali Sumare. Basiru Si. And Balde. These were the people you were working with. Those who were in-house. Correct? But all these people except Sumare implicated you in the torture. All of them said you tortured these guys. All of them.
Okay. Council, if they said I tortured, I tell you I did not torture Take what they tell you and please take what I told you. Allah knows I did not lay my hand on any of these people. Never. Among Soto is just a lie and fabrication.
Well, the victim said you tortured them.
All right. I take it.
I think it's about time we take a break.
I take it, but it's not true. I can take. I'm the head of that unit at that particular. I take
I take up the responsibility as head of unit.
Take up the responsibility, but that was killing instruct.
That has never happened.
Beat this guy.
And I never instructed any of my juniors to carry out any tortures.
Fine, we will continue our proceedings after the lunch break. We resume at 3 o'clock. Meeting is adjourned.